Hello and welcome everyone to the after school project. Today I'll do my best in teaching you how to drive a manual transmission in three easy steps. More like four, because you have to know how it works, and that's where we'll start. So again, if you didn't know, you're driving a manual transmission, which means you need to operate the clutch and your gear selector. We'll go ahead and look at the pedal box real quick. On from right to left, you have your throttle, your brake, and your clutch. Moving back into the cabin, you have your gear selector. First thing you do is you wiggle the stick. You get your first neutral jiggle. What you're doing is making sure that you have no gears selected. The way a transmission works is that you have about, well, in this case, 6 gears, and here is your gear selector. When you wiggle it, you're kind of moving it in between all these passages. But let's say we want to go to first. We're going to go to first and then push up. So now it's kind of selected the first gear. So we'll do that. We'd push in the clutch, make sure that the engine is disconnected. We'll go ahead and restart is what we'll do. All right. Hello and welcome to the after school project. Today I'll be teaching you how to drive manual in 3 easy steps. More like 4, because first of all we have to learn what we're doing. So again, we'll be driving a manual transmission, which means we are going to be operating the clutch, which determines how much power we put transfer between the engine and the transmission. And we have our gear selector right over here. We'll go ahead and look down into that pedal box, and from right to left we have our throttle and our brake, which are standard, but we have this new pedal, the clutch pedal. And what that does is, as I said earlier, it connects the drivetrain, so your transmission and your wheels essentially, to your engine. So how does that work? Well, so you have your engine, which is spinning, and your clutch, which will be either separate or connected depending on what the position of your clutch pedal is. So all the way out like we have it right now, it's not connected. So it's together and it's kind of spinning freely with the engine. But we go ahead and put the clutch pedal in and it separates it. So now the engine's spinning, and now the transmission isn't. So what we want to do is match it up perfectly so that it moves together, and that's how we move the car forward together. Makes sense, easy enough. So let's drive the thing. So the first thing we're going to do is, again, put it in neutral. It's in neutral. We know it's in neutral, so there's nothing going along there. Then we're going to go ahead and put into first. So most cars, it's going to be over to the left and up. Some cars will have a dogleg shift, which is going to be over and down. But 9 times out of 10, it's going to be over and up. So the first thing I'm going to want you to do is find a flat piece of ground and just slowly lift off the clutch as slow as you need to do, and then get the car moving. As you can see, I did not put any throttle in, and we're just moving along. I'm going to go ahead and then you can put in throttle in just to, you know, drive the car. When we want to come to a complete stop, we push the clutch in and put the brakes on. Let's do that again. So we come to a complete and full stop. Foot off the throttle, and just slowly bring the clutch out. Now, if you need to, if you feel the engine bog down, so the engine RPMs or the engine will feel, you'll notice it goes. If you start to feel that, feel free to put the clutch back in. There's no shame in that. That's just what you shall do, and that will just prevent the engine from stalling out. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. So again, just pushing, you know, release the clutch slowly. You'll feel the car move a little bit, and then you just roll around. And then again, you can put the clutch in, or you can start accelerating if you need to. The next step will be holding a specific RPM while you let out the clutch. So just put it back into neutral, feel how your throttle pedal is, you know. Okay, it's about that. You want it to be, you want your throttles to hold your throttles at about 1500 RPM. And get moving. You'll notice this time you're leaving the stopped position a lot quicker than before. And that's what you want. What you don't want is to be putting the throttle at 2,000, 3,000 RPM, depending on your vehicle. That could result in the tires burning, or you could burn out the clutch or burn out the tires. Which, if you know what you're doing, it can be fun. But again, we'll just go ahead and do that again. So again, throttle to about 1,500 and just slowly let out the clutch. And if you noticed on the tach there, the left instrument, the RPMs dropped slowly as we started moving, because now you're putting strain on the engine. That's the point of it. You're putting the strain on the engine, which is now pushing you forward. And so I want you to keep doing that until you're 1,000% confident on that. It's a skill that you're learning. You're learning a new skill, and I congratulate you for doing that. But you have to take your time. So the next step that we're going to do in getting moving, this is step number 2 of 3 of getting moving. I want you to have the engine RPM stay between that 1,000 to 1,500. But that's going to require you to modulate your throttle as you're letting out the clutch. This is the hardest part about driving a manual. So again, this is what your clutch and pedal. So again, clutch is on the left and throttle's on the right. As you release your clutch, when you get to that point where it starts to get super springy, and you noticed before when you start moving, then you're going to add just a little bit of throttle, and then you're away. So again, what's that's going to look like? Again, put it in first. We're going to put in the throttle, and as we let out the clutch, we're going to increase the throttle. It's easy, just as easy as that. And again, do that as many times as you want to. As many times. There's no pressure for that. We'll do that one more time, and then we'll talk about the third and final step, shifting, which is the most fun part. You get to shift. You get to row your own gears. And again, just do it as many times as you need to. Again, just trying to modulate, keeping your throttles between about 1,000 and 1,500, or whatever that you'll, ask a friend who knows how to drive stick, or your parent who knows how to drive stick, just kind of where the engine likes to be at, and you'll hear it. Lastly, we're going to talk about shifting. So what you want to do with shifting is use no more than 2 or maybe 3 fingers and grab the top of the shift knob, because that's all you really should need. You could just grab, like right here, I can grab 1 finger and just pull it back. I don't need to grip the shift lever and move it back and forth and there to there, because there to there, all that stuff. I don't need to do that, because if you get into the habit of that, there is a chance that you'll do what's called a money shift, which is shift from, let's just say, 5th all the way down to 2nd, then you over rev your engine, and that is very bad for the health of your engine. So again, we're going to take 1 to 2 fingers, just move it over to 2nd, and again, we take off. Okay, we're driving. I'm going to take it slow through here. We're driving around. Okay, it seems a sufficient time to shift. We're going to go throttle off, clutch in, shift, clutch out, and then throttle in. And you just keep repeating those steps. It's as easy as that. Again, I want to do it again here. Again, take 2 fingers, clutch in, just push it into the middle, and then push it into 3rd. Easy as that. Driving manual is not a difficult thing. All you have to do is feel what the car wants to do. And you're gonna go, that sounds dumb. But then you do it, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The car wants to do certain things. That's the mechanical tolerances are known by the car. They maybe not by you, but they are known by the car. So we'll get a move in here. Again, doing where we're modulating the difference between the clutch and the throttle. Again, throttle out, clutch in, shift, and then we continue. Same thing, throttle out, clutch in, shift, letting the shifter go where it wants to go, and then going in. And as many times as you want to. As many times as you want to. Just practice and practice and practice, and you're not going to be good at it. You're going to stall and you're going to go, that was dumb. But guess what? Embarrassing things mean funny stories. And you go, oh yeah, when I was learning to drive stick, there was a tanker behind me and I stalled and he honked his horn at me. And everyone's gonna laugh and you go, ha ha ha. But guess what? You learned how to drive stick. And you got a funny story out of it. So as we come up to this stoplight here, I appreciate everyone for listening, and hopefully my video helps you guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I just appreciate it to making to the end of the video. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.